Greetings, Capricorn and Capricorn rising. This is your Western forecast for January 2024. For many of you, this is your new birthday cycle beginning. And there's a major emphasis on Capricorn. Sun, Pluto, Mars, Mercury, Venus. It's an unusual alignment, especially with Pluto and Mars, all in Capricorn, putting a real emphasis on visibility, new beginnings, leadership, and really enhancing your confidence. But before I get into detail about that major emphasis, Mercury was retrograde the last couple of weeks of December and goes direct January the 1st. It's in your shadow sector. It's in Sag, the sign before Capricorn. And the Mercury takes time to get up to speed. So when it's on the 1st, the mind, Mercury, is at a standstill. So it's still slow and sluggish, not quick to the draw. But it's moving forwards. It takes a week or two to get a lot sharper. But on January the 13th, the Mercury moves into Capricorn. And so you're really starting to think and plan and discuss major new directions and focus. Jupiter is been retrograde the last 4 months of 2023. And on December the 30th, expansive Jupiter went direct and remains in Taurus, an earth sign compatible with earthy Capricorn, to the end of May. When Jupiter is now moving forwards, it's also releasing all of its promises and luck and blessings. And it's going to be in your 5th house, as Taurus is 5 signs past Capricorn. The 5th house can mean romance, creative projects, recreational activities, entertainment. The 5th house is one of the more pleasurable areas of the chart. And Jupiter is also the traveling planet, and going through the 5th house once every 12 years could be very favorable for long distance traveling. Now, before I get into the details of this huge lineup in Capricorn, so it's going to really shift you. But before I go there, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find a link that takes you to my website so you can book an astrology reading or inquire about my 2-question offer. Now, let's start with Venus, that planet of love, creativity, and desire. Venus is in Sagittarius, joining Mercury from December the 29th through January the 23rd, at which point the Venus, sociable, loving, creative Venus, moves into Capricorn, joining 4 other planets. Now, when Venus is in the shadow sector, the sign prior to Capricorn, we call the 12th house. That's more about the sociable Venus wanting more privacy, more wanting to retreat, wanting more of a low profile. I would think that you're not as sociable as you've been because there's all this emphasis on major new directions and leaderships and new beginnings. So let's break that down. The sun is in Capricorn every year, the first 20 days of January. The sun puts a spotlight on what's important and where are your priorities. But it's being in your sun sign or your rising sign, it's putting a real emphasis on visibility, courage, new confidence, new beginnings. Pluto, the planet of transformation, of endings and new beginnings, is at the last degree of Capricorn until January the 20th. In fact, on January the 20th, the Sun leaves Capricorn and Pluto leaves Capricorn and goes into Aquarius. So more on that I think you'll enjoy. But Mars, continuing with this first house, ambitious, assertive, courageous Mars goes into Capricorn January the 4th till February the 12th, once every 2 years. Now, Mars can be fiery, impatient, argumentative, but when it's in Capricorn, it's in its exalted sign. And so Mars in Capricorn can be more productive because the Capricorn is helping to channel productively, more with responsibility, more discipline to that fiery Mars energy. And so having Mars in its best sign of Capricorn, being the most productive to achieve its goals, it's in your sign. So there's this big push for initiating new projects, going after new personal goals. You're going to have a lot more increased energies. You're going to want more independence, all that Mars energies. But it's also with the first 20 days, the Sun is putting a spotlight on Pluto. So there's these huge changes going on for your whole life direction, to your physical body, and then you're really feeling that emphasis in the first part of January. Then Mercury, decision-making Mercury, goes into Capricorn on January the 13th till February the 4th. So now this is all the planning, all the discussions. Now the new moon is on January the 11th. The new moon is in Capricorn, is now focusing and crystallizing your attention to all this first house of visibility and new beginnings. The new moon will hold that Capricorn energy to the next new moon in Aquarius on February the 9th. Mars will remain in Capricorn until February the 12th. I'm bringing this up because the Sun will leave Capricorn out of your first house of new beginnings and new ventures, new visibility, and go into Aquarius. That Aquarius is in your second house of income. Pluto is also moving into that area. So there's going to be much more of an interest, if you will, on making more money. However, all the new ventures and new beginnings is going to remain the dominant theme, even though by the 20th onward, you're going to start being more interested on how you can increase your income, but you're still more focused on all this new beginnings, new ventures. Now back to the new moon on the 11th. If your birthday is within a couple of days either side of the 11th, maybe more the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, maybe even up to the 13th, that when your birthday falls on a new moon, which doesn't happen very often, like every decade or so, it's indicating some important new direction. A new path is presenting itself. Now, that Mercury in the 12th, the first 13 days, you could be doing a lot of thinking and planning, this kind of preparing for some major new beginnings. And the Venus in the 12th is keeping a lower profile until it goes into Capricorn on January the 23rd. That Mars, especially with compulsive Pluto in Capricorn, it can trigger and inspire a lot more charisma, motivation, magnetism. This is going to be a really dynamic energy, really pushing many of you to a new level, a new job, a new career, maybe even a new relationship when the love planet Venus goes into Capricorn January the 23rd till February the 16th. Now, the Sun will leave the first house of new ventures and leadership, even though that will remain the dominant theme. The Sun will move into Aquarius on January the 20th and be in Aquarius for 4 weeks. Now there's much more interest, that's the Sun, because it's not the dominant theme, on your personal finances, on increasing your income. The Pluto is endings and new beginnings. Pluto is powerful change. Pluto went into Aquarius at the end of March last year briefly, till beginning of June, retrograded back into Capricorn. January the 20th, Pluto goes back into Aquarius to the end of August, retrogrades back into Capricorn to tie up any loose ends until the end of November, when it's back into Aquarius and will be there for the next 20 years. I spoke in detail about this dance of Pluto from Capricorn to Aquarius in my yearly forecast, because the last time this dance was happening was 243 years ago. And it's going from being in Capricorn, kind of like really shifting and changing your whole life purpose, big turning point, big endings and new beginnings, but then going into Aquarius, which deals with your personal finances. So many Capricorn and Capricorn rising people are going to be feeling compelled, motivated to move into a new venture, a new business, a new direction that will make a lot more money, or maybe you're motivated to make more money by going into a whole new path, a whole new direction. Now, that Pluto, as I said, that Sun is putting a really spotlight on January the 20th. The Sun will only be there for 4 weeks until the following year. Pluto's going to be there to the end of August. So there is this obsessive drive to transform the way you make money, and powerful advancements, which takes me to the full moon. So January the 11th in the first house of new ventures. 2 weeks later is the full moon in Leo on January the 25th. The full moon, things are revealed, things come to light, things come to maybe to a head. Being in Leo, Leo is 8 signs past Capricorn. And so the full moon, really bringing a lot of matters to a head, is in the 8th. The 8th deals with finances, joint ventures, financial settlements, financial business contracts, negotiations, which goes along with all these new beginnings. And then that Sun Pluto moving into the second house of income. It's life-changing. And the first 5 months, Jupiter is in the 5th house. Well, the 5th house is very pleasurable and romantic and could be dealing with children. But the 5th house is also in business, so there's a lot of this business energy. The 5th house is about investing and speculation, and Jupiter could be you're being lucky or you're feeling really lucky. To to really move into these new directions. Now, new directions for making money. Now this is part of the forecast where I like to examine how all of these planetary energies are impacting your body, your relationships, your business. With the body, Mars in Capricorn, the first house always has something to do with, new beginnings and visibility, but the body. And Mars is the warrior, aggressive, athletic planet. You're going to have more enthusiasm, more energy, more robust energy, vital energy to go after all these new directions and goals. It's going to be a lot clearer of what I'm talking about when you get to the new moon on January the 11th. But you're already really geared up and rocking and rolling by the beginning of January. Relationships, Jupiter in the 5th. 5th is romance, entertainment, vacations and parties. And Jupiter, you're getting a lot of opportunities. You're feeling really expansive in these areas. And then Venus once a year goes into Capricorn, January the 23rd till February the 6th or the 16th. That Venus in your sign and Mars will also be in Capricorn in your sign. So Venus and Mars together, January the 23rd to February the 12th. Venus in Mars is very romantic energy. It's very passionate energy. It's highly creative energy. But the Venus and the Mars together, that can be this charismatic, romantic energies, is in your first house of visibility. So people are going to be really attracted to you. And it's really very favorable for starting a new relationship or bringing the romantic excitement back into an existing relationship. And with Jupiter in the 5th, it could be going to an entertainment venue, a vacation, a party, and putting you in a really good, happy mood with your partner. And that could stimulate all that intimate Venus-Mars energies. So good for romance, good for moving into all new directions, and of course, wrapping up in business, having the new moon in the first house, some kind of new ventures, especially with that Mars every 2 years. So you're really asserting yourself and taking big risk and really going for it. But the big thing is having the sun aligning with Pluto, going into the second house of income. So all this powerful force to move forwards and be ambitious you're doing it to try and increase your income. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to sign up for my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.